Before we start, pay attention. Every time you spot trivia in this video, keep counting. Comment the final number, stay subscribed, and you could win an Amazon gift card this month. Subscribed? Good. Let's go. When a middle-aged man gets back home, he feels some kind of presence in the house, signaling that he's not alone. When he turns around, a girl stabs him in the face with a tennis ball laced with nails and throws more sharp tennis balls at him. The man passes out eventually, but when he regains consciousness, he sees himself tied up to a table. After one last hangout with their friends, Katie and Sloan head home to prepare for a month of work at an organic farm, saving up for a shopping trip to New York City. In the woods, the friends take drugs to make themselves feel good and proceed to have some fun. After that, Katie and Sloan head back to Katie's mom's house. The next day, Katie's uncle Jason, an FBI agent who's on leave, picks them up and takes them to his house for the night. When they arrive, his girlfriend Gemma is there to welcome them. Jason shows the girls to their room and later on comes over to check on them and bid them goodnight. Sloan suggests they pick an alternate name for the duration of their trip, as they plan to leave their IDs behind. Sloan picks the name Heather, while Katie picks the name Ripley.
Heather? Yes.
In the morning, Jason drives the girls to the bus stop to catch the next bus. Upon arrival, the girls enter a nearby store to inquire about the bus's arrival. They're told by the attendant that the next bus arrives in an hour. Wanting to use the bathroom, the girls are directed to a coffee shop across the street. When they get outside, the girls bid goodbye to Jason, who tells them to call him when they get to the farm. Katie suggests texting him, but with Jason being persistent, she lets him know that if she can't place a call through, she will send him a text. To ensure their safety, Jason tells the girls to use a secret word that changes alphabetically daily with each text, so he knows they are the ones texting him. When Jason departs, the girls walk into the coffee shop and ask to use the restroom. Sloan departs, and when she returns from the bathroom, she meets two guys in front of Katie. They all sit and get acquainted with one another. The two guys, who are brothers, introduce themselves as Jed and Lucas to the girls. Katie and Sloan also introduce themselves as Ripley and Heather to the boys. The brothers soon discover that the girls are waiting for a bus and offer to take them to the farm. Katie rejects the offer, as they are strangers to them. As the boys walk out, Sloan manages to convince Katie, and soon they sprint out and join the boys in their truck, a mistake they will later regret. On their way, Jed drives past the junction leading to the farm and keeps heading forward. Katie and Sloan begin to worry, but soon the truck comes to a stop after driving for a while. Jed lets the girls know that they are at their family's place. They manage to convince the girls to stay for a bit before heading over to the farm. A short while later, Jed and Lucas' mother comes out of the house to usher the girls in and make them feel comfortable. When they get inside, she offers the girls a cup of tea and some pie. Soon, the girls start feeling disoriented after eating and drinking.
Drugged.
Realizing they've been drugged, Sloan grabs Katie and hastily heads for the door. When they get outside, they race towards the highway. Getting weakened by the drug, they do not get far before the boys catch up to them and bring their unconscious bodies back to the house. When Sloan and Katie wake up and come out of the container they were put in, they find themselves in the woods, chained to the container, and start to freak out. Sometime later, Jed arrives to meet the girls, desperately crying out for help, and mocks them. Informs the girls that no one will hear their screams from there, as there is no human nearby for miles. Jed informs the girls that things are going to happen to them, and advises that they go along with it to make it easier for them. Later on, Boris, a member of the sex trafficking group, comes to check out the girls and scolds Jed for picking up the girls with his blue pickup truck. Boris brings out Katie's phone, which was taken from him earlier, and tells them that a guy named Jason is trying to text to see if they are okay. At that moment, Boris discovers the girls' real names and inquires from them if the word at the back of Katie's previous text is a secret word. Threatening to do them harm, Katie tells him the truth. Boris types out a message to Katie's uncle and sends the message using the same safe word as the previous day to let him know that the girls are having fun. Unknown to him, the secret words are to change daily. Back in Jason's house, Gemma receives the text from Katie and puts Jason's phone away after reading it. Back in the woods, the town's Sheriff Andrews, arrives on scene and pretends to want to save the girls, unknown to them that he is also in on the act. After a short show, he laughs and embraces Jed. Sheriff Andrews examines the girls and decides he will sleep with them in turns. Later on, the container where Katie is held opens up and the sheriff comes out of it after having his way with her. Elsewhere, Jason asks Gemma for his phone, and when he gets hold of it, he sees a text from Katie. Jason gets uncomfortable upon seeing the text from her, as she didn't change the secret word. Gemma assures him that everything is fine and that Katie was most likely confused. In the woods, Jed and Lucas bring one of their perverted customers who picks Sloan and takes her into the container to do as he pleases with her. With Jason not at ease, he puts a call through to the organic farm and realizes that the girls didn't show up there. He informs Gemma that he must go there in search of the girls. Just like the previous person, another customer comes around and chooses Sloan to have his way with her. When he leaves, Sloan is left crying profusely inside the container, with Katie consoling her. Jason finally arrives at the town's police station, where he meets with Sheriff Andrews to lodge a complaint about the missing girls. When Sheriff Andrews appears and discusses with Jason, he realizes that Jason works with the FBI, which he considers a problem. During the course of their conversation, Jason makes it known that there is a code his niece is meant to use, which she didn't use when the text was sent to him, assuring him that someone has taken the girls. Sheriff Andrews assures Jason that he will look into the issue and question everyone at the farm, and that he can leave and go back home. After Sheriff Andrews relays this newfound information to his fellow traffickers, Boris comes to the girls and lets them know that he is aware they lied to him about the secret code when he sent a text to Jason earlier. Boris calls Jed aside and lets him know why he cannot have the FBI poking around. He tells Jed to get rid of the girls and dispose of their bodies. Jason continues his investigation and heads to the cafe where the girls met Jed and Lucas. He makes inquiries and gets told about them leaving with 2 boys. The coffee shop attendant informs Jason about the type of vehicle driven by the boys. He thanks the attendant and leaves the shop in search of more information that will lead him to his niece and her friend. Back in the woods, Katie informs Sloan that they need to find a way out after overhearing Boris telling Jed to get rid of them. Soon, the first perverted customer returns with Jed and Boris. After Jed and Boris leave, the man sits in front of the girls and watches them. Sloan moves towards him and seduces him. Once Sloan gets close to him, she rips his neck open with her teeth and takes his life instantly. The girls uncuff themselves and go into hiding, awaiting the arrival of the sheriff. When Sheriff Andrews gets to the woods, he meets the dead body of the customer, and a few seconds later, he sees his car being driven away by the girls.
We have a problem.
Katie and Sloan get on the road and head over to a store to get various supplies to enact their revenge mission on their assailants. After getting the needed items for their deadly mission, they head outside the store in search of their second victim, Boris. Elsewhere, Jason's search leads him to the insurance house, where he asks about the pickup truck the coffee shop attendant had told him about. The insurance ladies run a quick check and discover that there's only one in town, registered to someone named Boris. They help Jason get the address from the DMV, as it is not listed in the register. Boris arrives home in his blue pickup truck, and shortly after stepping in, he feels the presence of someone else in the building with him. Upon turning his back, he gets stabbed in the face with a tennis ball laced with nails thrown by Katie. Katie and Sloan follow up and throw many balls at him, which weaken and knock Boris out. When he comes around, he finds himself tied up. Boris tries to plead for his life and even offers the girls some money, but to no avail. They run a sharp tool through him, leading to his death.
Promise me!
You were gonna kill us.
Jason arrives at Boris's house a little late, as he meets him in a pool of his own blood and on the verge of death. Jason hears a sound outside, and when he quickly goes out to check, he sees Boris's blue pickup truck leaving the compound where the girls are. Sloan and Katie get back on the road and move towards their next target, the man in a mask, whom they have obtained his location from Boris. Back at the police station, Sheriff Andrews tells Jason that Boris didn't make it and died from the injuries sustained. Jason picks up his phone to dial his niece's number again, only for it to ring in Sheriff Andrews' pocket. The sheriff pulls a gun on Jason immediately after seeing that he has been exposed. Sloan and Katie's search for the masked man brings them to a chapel. When they get there, they see a priest outside after the close of service who has a similar tattoo to the one they noticed on the masked man's hands when he assaulted them, confirming his identity. Shortly after the priest walks back inside the chapel, Sloan walks in on him. He turns around and recognizes her immediately, but isn't scared as he seems to think she is alone.
His Holiness, Jesus Christ!
Katie knocks him out with a baseball bat from behind. When the girls get back on the road, the unfortunate priest is dragged along with the vehicle, causing him excruciating pain. When the vehicle comes to a halt, the girls check on the bloodied priest and go into a nearby store to get matches. When they come out of the store, the girls douse him with gas, which they had bought earlier, and set him on fire. Sheriff Andrews brings Jason to his house and has him tied up with plans to end his life. He leaves Jason alone for a moment to go check on a new set of victims. While at it, Katie and Sloan come from behind and strike Andrews on the head. When he comes around, he sees himself tied to a chair with the girls wanting to play the game of Russian roulette with only him participating.
Help me! Help me!
Katie puts a single bullet into the gun and shoots it at him, but nothing comes out. They do this until they eventually blow Sheriff Andrews' head off with a 6th shot. They release the new girls before leaving with instructions to free Jason as well. Elsewhere, Jed and Lucas' mother comes out for a glass of wine. Unknown to her, it has been laced with a drug. By the time she realizes she has been drugged, it is too late, as she collapses to the floor. When she regains her consciousness, she is told by Katie and Sloane that they drugged her with the same thing she used on them earlier. They spin her chair around, only for her to see her son, Jed, who is also drugged, hanging from a rope with his legs on a book. They scare her by kicking the book below his leg, letting her think they hanged him for a brief moment. Katie and Sloane proceed to bash Jed's head in with a baseball bat right in front of his mother. When they finish with him, the girls drag Jed's mother's chair to another room, where she sees her second son, Lucas, tied to a chair. The girls instruct Lucas to beat his mother to death, with failure to comply resulting in his death. Lucas nears his mother and raises the bat, but comes to a stop as he doesn't have the stomach for it. Lucas kneels in front of the girls and pleads for his life, promising not to reveal a thing to anyone. The girls have none of that, and Sloane shoots him in the head, wanting to make it all look like a classic case of murder-suicide. Sloane puts the gun in Lucas's hand and shoots him again with it to match the trajectory. Lucas's mother tells the girls that they would not get away with it, but Sloane responds and lets her know that they wiped everything clean except for the weapons there, which have Lucas's print on them. Jed and Lucas's mother tries to buy her life, just like Boris and Sheriff Andrews tried to, but the girls only take her money with the intent to still end her. Katie turns on the grass trimmer they bought from the store and moves close to blend Jed's mother with it. On a clear day, after the whole ordeal, Jason visits Katie's mom's house to pick up the girls to finally go to New York to explore and go shopping with all the money they got from the dead traffickers. The story shows what sometimes happens in real life. Many pursue perverted interests over unwilling participants. After being molested, Sloane and Katie manage to escape and carry out a revenge mission. Do you think they were too extreme in exerting their revenge against the traffickers, or was it justified? But the main question is, how many trivia did you count? Don't forget to comment.